Expose evil here. Like, share, subscribe. Department of Justice creating path for people with criminal convictions to again own guns. Now they're desperately trying to grab at any type of control that they still can acquire by your submission. They rely on you to submit to their license and permits, which licenses a permission to do a thing. Now, they would never allow to ban what they deem felons or criminals from possessing their rights. Now, this is what was said in the case.
Obviously, there's a different tradition with respect to felons, in part because, you start at the time of the framing, and most felonies are capital crimes. So, the need to disenfranchise felons for firearm possession was a little different at the framing.
This is a perfect case to show how that was used in court in United States versus Prince, 2023. Now, he did an armed robbery, and he was charged with the robbery too, but they were trying to charge him on top of the robbery with Title 18, 922G1, which is a felon possession, right? And it said that consequently, this court concludes that the government has not met its burden under Bruin to prove this nation's history and tradition of firearm regulation with historical evidence of laws that authorize capital punishment and estate forfeiture for felonies, just like Paul Clement said, right? Now listen, it says, because this court determines that defendant is a member of the people. Very key words right there. You want to be the people. You don't want to be no one else. Protected by the Second Amendment, and because neither type of historical regulation offered by the government satisfies his burden to show a history and tradition of relatively similar analogies to 922G1, permanent categorical firearm disposition of all felons, the court is forced to grant defendant's motion to dismiss the indictment against him under Bruin, regardless of whether he's challenging the statute as applied or on his face. He did a direct challenge to the federal statute and it was held unconstitutional. So here's Department of Justice, registered on Manta, right? It says 950 Pennsylvania Ave. Now this is an old format. They used to have it set up differently and used to say different things. Like here's an example. These are my personal screenshots from like 8-9 years ago off of my YouTube videos. Or my YouTube video right here. This is me on YouTube. And you see here, at the bottom, it would say like Department of Justice is a privately held company in Washington, D.C. And then it'll say is a headquarters business. See how this is my state of New Jersey? State of New Jersey is a privately held company. And they used to say the same thing for the United States. This was the same address. What was it, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? You can go watch the video I have right here. It's my first video I've ever made on this channel on YouTube. And you see here it says we are a privately held company in Washington, D.C., government of the United States. No different than a Walmart. That's why I have it here. See, Walmart is a privately held company in Kearney, New Jersey. These businesses are no different from any other business. They're all privately held, pretending to be governmental. So really the only evidence we find is that it still has a SIC code right here. Standard Industrial Classification Code, used for business identification.